Hi, I'm Melamed. Over the last week, the killing of Osama Bin Laden, the leader of Al-Qaeda, was discussed from different perspectives. In my presentation today, I would like to offer some other perspectives that are less known and are less familiar, yet in my mind are not less important. The killing of Osama Bin Laden reveals deep layers within the Muslim and the Arab world. What are these layers? What can we learn from them about the nature of the relationship between the Muslim world and the West? And finally, of course, what is the Israeli perspective to this whole story? Here is a very strange sentence. Osama bin Laden is dead and he is alive. Let me be very clear about it. Osama bin Laden was killed. Yet in the mind of many people in the Arab and the Muslim world, he lives somehow. Some says that he lives even in the USA. That is not the real issue. The real issue is to understand as while we are speaking, Osama bin Laden is basically transformed in the minds of many people in the Muslim and the Arab world into what I call the myth zone. That myth, like many other myths, is not going to disappear. It is going simply to have a different version. At this point, it really doesn't matter if the USA will present a video or a picture or a photo of the dead Osama bin Laden. The creation of that myth is inevitable because of two major reasons. The first reason is the fact that people simply love myths and conspiracy theories. In a very interesting timing, a couple of days before the killing of Osama bin Laden, the Arab and the Muslim world was swept by a flood of excitement. The reason for that excitement was the publishing of allegedly the audio recording of Saddam Hussein, the previous Iraqi dictator that was executed by his own people after a trial. In that recording, Saddam Hussein allegedly announced that he is well and alive and he was not really executed. Obviously, nobody takes that audio too seriously. It's quite clear that Saddam Hussein is going to remain very dead. Saddam Hussein, unlike Osama bin Laden, is not going to be transferred into the myth zone. The second reason is much more important. The transformation of Osama bin Laden into the myth zone of the Muslim and the Arab world is basically a deep need of the Muslim and the Arab world. It is the way to bridge over the dual, conflicted, contradictory way that Muslims view Osama bin Laden. I want to be clear. The majority of Muslims reject bin Laden's extremism. Yet at the same time, on a deeper layer, for many Muslims, the figure of bin Laden was a source of a strange kind of pride. The gloomy situation of the Muslim world generates feelings of inferiority, frustration, incompetence among many Muslims. In a mysterious process, for many Muslims, including Muslims that totally reject bin Laden's extremism, the figure of bin Laden himself was a vessel through which these negative feelings were channeled. The endless articles and comments made by Arabs following the killing of bin Laden clearly demonstrates the complex way in which bin Laden was perceived by the Muslim world. In many articles you could find the following combination. Muslims are angry with bin Laden because his way and his legacy are responsible for the death of so many innocent people. Many of them are Muslims. Muslims are resentful of him because his extremism cast a dark shadow over Islam and Muslims. Many Arabs are openly saying Osama bin Laden deserves to die for what he did. Many says that is the ultimate defeat of Osama bin Laden and the radical way of Al-Qaeda. And yet, at the same time, reading the very same article, in between the lines you could find the symbolism of the figure of Osama bin Laden to the Muslim and the Arab world. For many Muslims, bin Laden was a symbol of the fight against the oppression of the West. That was a person that defies the superiority of the arrogant West. That was a person that set a role model for the willingness to sacrifice personally for ideals. even if they are wrong ones. There are already people and factors in the Muslim world that build and fuse the myth. I'm not talking about the followers of Osama Bin Laden. In fact, it may surprise you to know that during the first days after the killing of Bin Laden, all of the website that relates to Al-Qaeda kept totally silent. Nothing was mentioned there about the killing of Bin Laden. The first official announcement of Al-Qaeda acknowledging the death of their leader Osama Bin Laden was made only yesterday. There was a reason for the silence of the radical Islam organizations. The reason is that they have been watching with satisfaction the process of building the myth in the Muslim and the Arab world. They kept silent because they did not want to interfere or to damage that process. In their view, this is a positive process. Who then is building and fueling the myth in the Muslim and the Arab world? These are people or organizations that enjoys popularity and legitimacy in the Muslim and the Arab world. Some of them have or wish to have a legitimacy also in the international community as well. To answer these questions and to talk about additional aspects following the killing of Osama Bin Laden, please join me in my next chapter. I am Melamed. Thank you for watching.